This baby is secretly one of the world's best conquerors to have ever lived. And he can be found in the steppes of Central Asia. This baby is actually Temur Borjigin, otherwise better known as Tamerlane, and try throughout his lifetime to recreate the Mongol Empire. Our goal for today is to play as Tamerlane and go ahead and recreate his empire within his lifetime. Now, before we unleash Timur's amazing invincible army onto the world, let's talk about an amazing way to up your gaming experience with today's sponsor. Wand is a safe, simple, and reliable way to expand your gameplay experience. Just simply go to their desktop app, select the game that I want, click play, and select the features I want to use in-game, such as infinite HP, morale, and movement speed for my units, plus some fast construction and research to get my economy going. We are on our way, living out my imperial ambitions like that without even having to leave the game. Wand doesn't just work for my favorite grand strategy games, but also works with over 3.5 thousand single-player games. It also offers interactive game maps, video clipping, game guides, and much more, all while being free. And until December 1st, Wand is offering their best deal yet. 25% off of their annual pro subscription. This gives you access to quality of life upgrades and much more, all while being completely ad-free. So go ahead, use my code WANDBF25 with my link on screen and in the description box down below to begin your amazing gaming experience using Wand. Now, with all that being said, let's get back to the video. Now, with him being a baby, that does mean that we have to wait about 15 to 20 years in the nation of Barlas, which means speed 5. Now, as the ruler of Barlas, we do have quite a few children of our own. However, we have no plans of making any of them our actual ruler. So honestly, just whatever education I feel like giving you guys, that's what you are all getting. You are all going to be amazing at administrative education. And of course, because we are playing in the Central Asian steppes, that means we do not make a lot of money at all. Our entire economy is under 4 ducats, our tax efficiency hot garbage, and our ruler, he's really good at war, but he's horrible at administrating a kingdom. So because of that, our crown power is below 20%, meaning we are not making any money whatsoever. And really, even though we could have 2 cabinet members, I don't even think it's really worth it to hire them, since we're not even making a single ducat. So to remedy this, we are going to be printing a bunch of money, because I do like printing a lot of money. We're going to be increasing the taxes on our chieftains just a little bit. Ulema and our commoners, well, they're kind of maxed out. And to try and jumpstart our economy, I am building a rural cloth maker, because this does have the potential to increase the base tax in our capital area here by 0.94 ducats, which is huge.
Oh, wow.
Now, one benefit of being the nation of Barlas, or really any of these nomadic hordes over here, is the fact that we do have the curl tie. This allows us to have a pretty big standing army, and we actually start out with 150 troops. Not only that, we have 3,333. What a lovely magical number that is, of just men waiting to be deployed into the field, so we can potentially field out a big army. Unfortunately for us, our one and only building has stopped being constructed here with that red lock, and that's because there's not a lot of stone over here. Now that Timur is of 5 years old, I'm going to go ahead and change his education. He's currently at a balanced education. However, I want my man to be a really good warlord right now. The Renaissance has officially arrived in our game, and we are going to be going all in on the military focus. Oh, okay, yeah, we could do this war, except I'm just gonna sit over here and you guys could all duke it out, but yeah. Chagatai, go deal with your brother, the Golden Horde, please. Oh, no. And of course, the Black Death has spawned in the Golden Horde, who we are at war with right now. Now, what I am completely terrified of is we only have 190,000 people in our country. If that reaches our country, I have a bad feeling we're about to be down to 100,000 people. And then all of a sudden our economy is going to be gone. And what worries me even more is that even Timur over here might not even be that safe. He too may even be claimed in his early youth to the Black Death. And the Black Death has officially arrived in my country. The Black Death, according to the map here, is essentially wiping out all of Eastern Europe and even spreading to Italy, the Low Countries, and into England as we speak. Just as I feared, the Black Death is really taking its toll on us, as 44,000 of our own people are officially just gone. As you guys can see, my fears have been confirmed, where our population's literally about to be halved in its entirety. The Black Death is officially working its way out of my country at this point. And yeah, 109,000 people are what's left out of the 82,000 that have died thanks to the Black Death. With us officially being in the Renaissance and finally having access to Renaissance age technology, we're going to start focusing in on some of the more important things for us, like our military. So we're going to boost up the army morale. We're going to go here. This one is unique because we do have a steppe horde government, meaning there shall be no grass. Will be very good to deal with all the attrition that we're going to be dealing with as we expand throughout Persia. Additionally, we're going to be focusing on the finest of our horses, giving us even more cavalry power. And really, in this age, like, this is where the Sunni nations really shine, because there's so many different technologies in the Age of Renaissance just for playing as a steppe horde, Sunni, and the region and culture that we are in. And finally, after 24 years, here we go, the rise of Temur Khan. He's a military genius who craves for the restoration of the once glorious Great Mongol Horde. With his loyal soldiers, he took over Samarkand and the surrounding lands to establish the Timurid Horde. Now, we could go ahead and select this top option, get annexed by the Timurids, and become the Timurids. Otherwise, we just do this one. We will observe his career with great interest. We will continue playing as Timurid. We're going to do for the Horde. And immediately, we have 330,000 people in our country. We have 3,000 ducats just chilling around. And we actually have a pretty decent sized army now. In terms of research, let's see. I'd imagine yes, they do have some unique research, such as the Mantle of the Great Khan, which of course requires us to have professional armies institution. A month after we went and became the Timurids, we get this event, the Rise of Timur. So we get more army tradition. We get Timur gets the Scourge from Central Asia until his death. He's a conqueror, he's a tactical genius, he's cruel and a strategist. Everything that you want. And we now have this situation where we could plan invasions of different countries around us. We get the Temur Khan's Conquest CB on a target country. And literally we could select anybody that we want to beat up. We'll gain antagonism towards them, but man, is it a lot easier to annex them. And to really just kick things off, we're going to start invading all of these nations right here. As for Mr. Timur himself, I will go ahead and make him our general. My man is just too good to just not have as a general. And remarkably, I just simply occupied the capital here, and all of this land went directly to us. Oh my goodness. So all we have to do is just simply occupy towns or cities, and we just instantly annex these guys. Oh boy. I can understand why this is going to be so overpowered. And if you're wondering what all of Temur's traits are that we got, such as the Conqueror, the Tactical Genius, and Cruel, and of course Strategist. So Conqueror, we get less separatism. We also, as a Tactical Genius, get more military tactics, pushing us towards quality. Cruel makes it so that way we can actually execute characters our states don't like us as much. As Strategist allows us to siege cities a lot faster. And we could also assault a lot better, and our discipline is very, very good. Alright, next invasion. Here we go. I have to wait a whole year. Oh no, that's how they make it, so you can't be that fast. Alright, once we take out these guys, we're going to be pushing up towards Chagatai very, very quickly. And of course, this even more lore towards the legend of Timur, where he got shot in the leg with 2 arrows, and ever since then, he has had a limp. And now Timur is known as Tamerlane Borjigin. One advantage about playing as a horde and also really just as Timurids, is the fact that you could still build curl ties in all of your towns, and you could use them with all that money you just inherited to go ahead and build a ton of professional troops. So I'm building a ton of horsemen right now, and we do have a lot of manpower that we are going to be using. And I'm building even more curl ties so I could have even more manpower and even more professional troops to really just take on everybody's little peasant levies. Chagatai has officially announced us as a rival, which I'm going to also announce them as a rival, and I'm thinking that's going to be our next invasion. Yes, they are slightly stronger than us. Well, actually, the game's letting me know now I'm actually a little bit stronger than them. But when I look at this screen, it tells me we are slightly weaker than them. But honestly, I think it's time we really start expanding, and we take out the entirety of Chagatai, so that way we really build up our base to start taking on all of Persia. And while I cannot attack Chagatai directly, I can invade one of their subjects. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to invade this guy right here. And that should plunge us into a big war against Chagatai. And sure enough, when we look at our diplomatic map mode here, this is how many nations we are at war with. And I'm really, really hoping that we're able to just take out all of them all at once. And here's our very first battle as Tamer fighting these guys. We actually have the professional cavalry that these guys don't have. Them and all their little peasant boys are going to get absolutely demolished on the steppes, even though it's looking very close. Very, very close battle, and I am not liking this at all. And of course, there's a few other battles going on. Trying to occupy towns, trying to fight battles. Just occupied this area here and immediately overtook it from this nation that originally was up here. And even if they occupy land, they don't get it back. We just take it and it's ours. Yeah, we took out 1,500 of them. Now with one of my larger armies, I will go ahead and start marching straight into Chagatai. So that way we could start taking away a lot of their land and really just weaken them. Take away as many of their levies as possible. Because right now there's a fort here and I really don't want to deal with these couple forts. Instead, again, just start plunging directly into the heart of Chagatai where there are no forts whatsoever. We have another amazing event here, our legacy. So this top option here, we could go ahead becoming the Sword of Islam, get more army morale, talents of true faith, and move towards mysticism, which also gives us even more morale. Or we claim that we are of the heir of Genghis Khan, and we get even more army morale, 15%, monthly legitimacy, monthly horde unity, less separatism, and that's till the end of the situation, which is until the end of our ruler's life. So of course we'll choose this bottom option. And to make this a lot easier on myself, this whole army was 7,000 troops. I told them to just go ahead carpet siege down Chagatai, because honestly I need to start focusing on some of these battles down here. And as we expand more into these lands, we get even more levies from the Chagatai land that we just took over. That is remarkable. Sure, occasionally we get a pop-up saying we lose battles, but man, look at that. We just took out essentially half the Chagatai horde. They're all just disappearing at this point. In case you guys were wondering how this war was going, I mean, I'm having such a good time. I'm just in disbelief at how quickly we just took out an entire horde. And in addition to that, like we are starting to take out all their little allies as well too. So I can completely understand why it's so easy to just conquer everything. I mean, Timur's only 27 years old right now, and I mean, honestly, we could really, really start pushing into everything over here. Oh, the conquest of Persia. We get Tamer Khan's conquest CB on every country with its capital in Persia. This is gonna be really good. We're about to just take over. I just keep saying it, but it's like, man, we're like, the expansion in here is so fast when you're playing as the Timurids. With Chagatai officially out of the way, I actually occupied their last province, which means the war is over. I actually have a few subjects. Well, supposedly I do. I don't know where some of these are. They're probably unsettled nations, these guys are. But the only one that's still around is this one as a settled country. Now, we are going to wait just maybe about a year. And I'm going to go ahead and begin my invasion of Persia. What I can now do also, and this is going to save our entire country, really stabilize it, we can core regions. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 230 ducats. We're going to get a core on all of the province and locations in those areas. The other thing I can do is reform into a monarchy. We become a settled nation. We then get the Timurid Empire government reform and our country changes to an empire. However, I feel like this might be something that we want to do a little bit later. We want to probably finish off our invasions and then go ahead and proclaim an empire. So speaking of invasions, it's Persia time, everybody. So far, our invasion of Persia is going pretty darn well. We are just easily cutting right through this nation here. And Gurgan is actually the main country in this war. Similar to Chagatai, where we took over most of their subjects, Gurgan is actually the overlord of all of these countries. So we don't want to full annex Gurgan right away. We actually want to take out all their subjects, then go after Gurgan. And if you guys are wondering about aggressive expansion, yeah, we do have quite a bit of aggressive expansion. Granted, it's not that bad, considering we do have a unique Casus Belli to expand over here, but a lot of the nations in Persia are really upset with us especially. Same with Golden Horde because we took out Chagatai. Now I am kind of in a little bit of a conundrum here. I do actually have to do a lot of these wars before 1368, otherwise we're going to lose a lot of our Casus Belli on everybody in Persia. So yeah, we're just going to jump right into a bunch of these wars like right away. Luckily, we could do multiple wars all at the same time. So next one's going to be against Karan and Sama. That's actually going to allow us to start pushing into India a little bit as well too. One thing I'm absolutely loving about this game versus EU4 is the fact I can automate a lot of this stuff. You see, I'm so zoned in and focused on my war in Persia right now, my invasion of Persia, that my economy slowly started going down. So I just handed it off to the AI and I'm making money right now. It's not a lot of money, but I'm making some money, and honestly, any money is good, especially because obviously I have to support a lot of troops, and at some point I have to core this entire region, which does cost quite a bit of money. Now I could continue invading into India right now in the immediate war. However, I just want to take as much money as I can from these guys, keep everything rolling, get that money. I should be able to core Persia very soon. I believe as soon as I'm at peace, I should be able to start coring the Persian region, which means any land that I take in the future will automatically be a core of my empire. And to keep the wars going and to also break apart my coalition, we're going to invade Kerman over here. That's going to call in Makran, Sind, and also the other really huge nation of the Chabanids over here. I believe that this is actually the historical, it's either them or Gurgan is the historical like remnants of the Ilkhanate of the Mongol Empire. So we are going to be at war with most of the guys in Persia now. And again, we are stronger than all of them combined, which is just crazy to think. And when we look at our diplomacy screen, yeah, that's a lot of wars over here, but I'm a-okay with that. What I've done to really up the speed of my conquests all across Persia here is I'm just decking on every single one of these nations. And I upped my diplo spending just so that way I could get an additional diplomat, just so I can start invading more countries, because I need more diplomats to continue invading more of these countries. And I mean, when we look at regions, I'm essentially at war with almost every single nation in Persia at this point, aside from this country right here. We're getting there. And I think once we actually invade or conquer all of Persia, obviously we could go ahead and core all this stuff up. That'd be great. We may even get an event to start pushing into the Middle East, like Iraq and even into Turkey, to combat the Ottomans, which is the furthest extent of the Timurid Empire that it ever reached. Our expansion into Persia has been slightly halted here, and it's not because of battles, but it's quite simply because of all the forts everywhere, man. And I mean, like, getting into Persia, you could just see on the map, there's forts on all of these cities, all these towns, and it's just not a good time. I mean, like, the EU5 does a good job of making sure that you know that historically sieging down a fort sucked, and you lose a lot of people to attrition, desertion, all that stuff. It's just,
like I said, not a good time having to siege this stuff down. Ooh, China's definitely not going to be feeling too good right now. I mean, they already are not feeling good. Yuan burgers? Did they just simply take over the country? The Yuan burgers took over the country, and now they got the Red Turban Rebellion to worry about? Ooh. Yeah, they're about to collapse really, really bad now. So because my proximity to China, I'm getting all the events letting me know what is going on here. And Manchuria is breaking completely away from the Yuan dynasty. And it's just not looking good for them at all. I think Guangning over here is actually the nation. Yeah, they are the Red Turban Rebellion. Nice. I'm interested to see how this goes. Considering they don't really have an army, and obviously China having the world's largest population, having one of the largest armies. I mean, like we'll be checking in on the Yuan dynasty in a little bit here. My goodness, man, China is just—they're not doing too good. They got the Kingdom of Chen just popped up. Tianwan was like a kingdom for a little bit, but now I'm assuming just Chen is really the big one. I see obviously Jinhua is another one. Yeah, the Yuan's not having a good time. But you know who's having a good time? Me, because I finally got through some of these forts, and good old Timur over here, he's only 32 years old, and we are doing a really good job of actually conquering Persia in his lifetime. I feel like he probably conquered a little bit faster than us, but he also doesn't have to worry about dice rolls and fort percentages like how we do. Now, this is a cool event because Timur did try to invade China, or at least had plans of invading China, and now we get a unique CB on China for the next 4 years. Oh, man. Yeah, because obviously, if we want to, we could go ahead and form the Mongol Empire. But I do want to stay as the Timurids, to be honest with you. I know it's kind of lame, but I like the Timurids. They're actually one of my favorite countries. They've always been one of my favorite countries in EU4, and so far they're my favorite country right now in EU5. So far, almost there to having all of Persia under our thumb. It's just a matter of taking out a couple more countries, and there we go. And then after that, it's invading into all of these guys, which, I mean, that in itself is going to be quite a bit of a challenge. However, we are much stronger, apparently, than some nations, such as the Mamluks. Granted, I mean, like, our levies that we could have. I mean, we have 20,000 out in the field right now. I'd imagine after we core up Persia and all that stuff, we're probably going to be upwards, you know, maybe like 50,000. And don't worry. Yeah, we also have quite a few rebels that we're going to have to deal with as well. So, yeah, that's also going to be a little bit of fun. Not only is it all about conquering all this land, but we're going to have to stabilize our empire afterwards, of course. I swear, as I keep expanding and taking people over at this point, like, more people keep joining the coalition, which is fair because I keep taking over more people. And I mean, if we look at the world, most of the world, at least most of the Islamic world, really hates me right now. And so they keep joining these wars against me, but I'm just way too strong, so it just keeps creating this endless cycle of I take more land, people join the coalition, they intervene and join on the side of a coalition war. And I just continue to take more land. And then you have events like this where, because this horde nation down here is in a civil war, we could go ahead and declare war on them right now. So there's another front that just opened up that we have to deal with. While we are finally over here consolidating all of Persia, as you guys can see, we are looking to be a big boy now. Yuan dynasty still not doing too good. We got Chen, Jinhua, Wu, Sangzi all popping out of these guys, and then we also have the Jochid clergy popping out of the Golden Horde, which is our next closest rival. At this point, I don't think there's really any nation that can rival us. It's crazy to think because I feel like historically this is how it was. Timurids, there was nobody that could rival the Timurids when they were like rising up and actually like conquering this stuff, man, because Yuan was pretty much done at that point. So yeah, it's pretty historically accurate with how everything's looking right now. Finally, we are in an era of peace, at least for now. I'm going to go ahead and reform into a monarchy. This does mean we are going to lose actually quite a bit of legitimacy here. But now we are a settled country, we are a monarchy, we have redefined our step toward removing legacy of Chinggis Khan. We are no longer a Mongolian culture, and now we are of our own dynasty. So now we are officially the Timurid Empire because we did reform our monarchy. So yay. Now it's time to stabilize everything. And I think we still get access to the Tamerlane Khan's Conquest CB just because he's still alive. I'm going to go ahead and disband all my levies. I'm going to send a lot of these boys home. Everybody needs to go home right now, man. And now we are officially the 7th greatest power in the entire world. Not bad for a country that started out over here and literally had like nothing. We are going to do yet another pretty big war here, just to keep on expanding, getting closer to those borders that Timur himself actually had. So we're going to be invading the Sudaids, who are allied to the Aretinids. That'll actually get us into Anatolia. That's really just going to leave us down to just invading the Mamluks at some point here. With our last invasion over here, this does push us pretty close to having historical Timurid Empire borders. Georgia is actually our tributary last time I checked. They may not be a tributary under us anymore. Ooh, this is actually kind of a cool event. So the Turkoman of Anatolia. Essentially just saying that like the Seljuks used to rule over that area, and every single country in Anatolia has the opportunity to just simply become my vassal. So Dukodurid, Aretinids, Kubadids, and like that. We just gained like half of Anatolia. The year is 1380, and I'm thinking that is where we are going to call it for today. We formed the Timurid Empire. We conquered a lot of stuff, like within this time frame of like 20 years. It's crazy to think, but Timur, when he turns 24 years old, that's when he took over our country. He is now 44 years old, and this is how much stuff that we have conquered within that time frame. And while we have not started our invasion into India, that is something that we could be doing in our next run as the Timurids. If you guys want to see me continue this campaign, make sure you guys hit that like button. I'm thinking if we hit 2,000 likes on this video, I will go ahead, continue this campaign, and we will begin our invasion of India and finish conquering all of Anatolia. Now, with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next one. Chairman out.